Hello and welcome back to Sikich Live, everybody. Hopefully, my microphone is working okay this time. Not sure if my producers in the background are going to let me know, but I heard I might have a little bit of an echo, so sorry about that for today. Today's topic is all about ERP selection. So we're going to have Debbie on in just a little bit. But before I get to that, I would be, of course, remiss not to mention the like and subscribe so that you get all these notifications for when Sikich goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays each week with a new and exciting topic about ERP, IT managed services, security, CRM, and so much more. Don't be shy on Sikich Live. If you're in the chat right now, ask a question about something that you want to know right now. That's why we're here, and that's why we decide to go live each week. So a good enterprise resource planning system, or ERP, should have an impact on the entire organization, right? So these increasingly popular and necessary enterprise applications help manage activities, including planning, finance, research and development, purchasing, supply chain management, sales, marketing, and of course, much, much more. And there's countless ERP solutions, software, ERP partners out there that are available to everyone. So it's crucial that you make the right ERP choice that fits your organization, whether that's best of breed or perhaps an all-in-one solution. But do you know what the ERP selection process looks like, or how to go about possibly choosing a partner? It can be really overwhelming for many businesses out there. So today I'm going to bring Debbie Altham on all the way from Portland, Oregon. Hey, Debbie, how are you?
Hey, Michael.
Hey. So thanks so much for joining us again on Sikich Live. I'm excited to ask you a few questions here. So let's just kick it off right away. People want to know, how do you know you need a new ERP? What are the signs they need to look for?
All right. So there are a number of things that you would look in your organization and go, I think I need a new ERP. One, and I'm going to be contentious on this, it's not in the cloud. If it's not in the cloud, it probably hasn't been, you probably haven't had a new one for the last 2 or 3 years. Certainly almost every vendor, in fact, in some cases 10 years, some vendors have been offering cloud ERP. So I would say not in the cloud. All of the developers of ERP systems are now developing cloud solutions. All of their research and development dollars, all the extra functionality, all the cool new technologies are going into cloud-based applications. So if you're not in the cloud, that's something to, I think, one of the first triggers. Let's say you are, assuming you're not in the cloud already, limited resources in terms of either the support or maintenance of your existing system. So what we find is that as new applications roll out, our consultants, they want to work on the new stuff, right? It's really exciting to work on something that's new and current. They're not particularly interested in building resumes for applications that are legacy. Similarly, very good talent that has worked on ERP systems are generally working on the leading edge, or at least the more modern versions of those systems. And in some cases, we're finding there are people who are still using applications, business applications, ERP systems that are 20 and 30 years old, where it truly is a lack of resources availability across the globe to find someone to fix it if it breaks. So that's another reason to look. Is it expensive to maintain? Are you captured? Are you captured by a vendor, let's say a database vendor, that's enforcing you to pay huge maintenance fees because you're one of only a few clients using, old technology underlying? Are you version locked? You can't upgrade. Time to think about getting a new one. I think that, those are some of the reasons why you'd look. There's something to be said about why keep current for currency's sake. And I understand that, they're big systems, they're disruptive systems, but I want to really suggest that you look at what software as a service is supposed to be. And that is that the next update you take, the next upgrade you take will be the last one, in theory, last big migration you'll ever have to do. From then on in, software as a service, you take your updates on time, And then when you're looking to move, you're looking for a real value move rather than the system is back in the dark ages.
So what are the current ERP trends happening right now? What are the cool things to do with ERP?
So cloud. I don't know that anyone with any money is developing a business application that is designed to run on premises. Certainly, the vendors are acknowledging the need to handle a problem with latency and problem with connectivity. For an organization that has many subsidiaries, maybe dialing in from odd, rural places or countries where the internet connectivity is not so reliable. And the application developers are building sort of edge-based solutions for those scenarios. But I would say cloud, major trend. The other major...
Quick question, I just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
What are the reasons that a company won't want to move to the cloud? Why do you think that there are still companies out there that are holding back from this cloud? Just as we talk about it so much more, you're saying cloud. Why would people not go to the cloud?
So I'm going to say there's probably 3 reasons that I've heard that people don't want to move to the cloud. Reason number 1 is that they're scared of security. They're afraid that their data is not secure or that someone's going to be able to come and attack them. Generally, if you look at the statistics around security, you'll find that, believe it or not, your data is probably more secure in the cloud than it is on premise or in a hosted environment, simply because of the money and effort being put into the security of those systems, cloud solutions. Next reason, so 1 is security. Number 2 is speed, latency, and reliability of internet connection. So that's that technical stuff. Have I got big enough pipes for all my data to travel backwards and forwards? And again, I talked a little bit about that edge side, which is providing solutions for that. And I think the third reason that people don't want to move to the cloud is they simply don't want to move. And they know the next move is for the cloud. They understand that changing ERPs can be a long and arduous and difficult process, that it is disruptive, and that it can be expensive. So, yeah, I would say those are the 3 main ones.
No, thanks. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I was just kind of curious about, there's all this messaging to go to the cloud, and yet we still have these companies that are saying, nope, not going to happen, never happen.
Do you know, Michael, here's the interesting thing, is that is technology going to be something that helps drive your business forward? Do you see that those business systems are something of value and help you do a better job? Do they help you make more sales? Do they help you save costs? Do they help you provide better customer service? Do they help you recruit and keep good talent on staff? So all of those things come into the mix. If you think your ERP system is just a transaction number cruncher, then I would understand that you don't value it very highly. But what I would challenge is that these days, the expectation is certainly some of the ERP solutions are now far more broad, far more wider. They're not enterprise resource planning systems anymore. They're business applications. You can spend a lot of time worrying about how you increase your customer satisfaction, retain your customers, be a more reliable partner for your customers, and use the underlying technology to deliver on those goals and objectives for the business. So, if it's all it's doing is your financials, there might be reasons that you think it's going to offer no value. I would also say maybe have a look at what the new financial systems look like. Maybe you can do more with less. Maybe there's a lot of automation in some of these new systems that mean that you don't need to do a lot of manual work. Your people can spend more time on productive things rather than, data entry, for example.
Yeah, thanks. And I know I cut you off right in the middle of kind of talking about those ERP trends. So besides the cloud, what are those other trends out there?
So, I mean, I alluded to it, right? Which is, I don't know whether ERP is going to be an old term, it's going to be an old-fashioned term that people coming out of college these days are not really talking about ERP in our way that we think of it, or I think of it because I'm ancient. So this is what we're delivering now is a platform of business applications that have a focus on delivering efficiency, and new ways of doing things using less resources and getting better outcomes, based on modern software, robotic process automation. You've got a whole lot of stuff there that is what people maybe not considered ERP before. I mean, the merger of applications for customer relationship management, the merger of solutions for e-commerce, for field service. These are things that are traditionally, they weren't really ERP. You'd go and buy 10 different things and cobble them all together. So I think what we're seeing now is that there's a lot of skill required to create an architecture on top of a platform that does dial in the functionalities that you want. You want something for financials, you want something for customer management, maybe you want something for managing your projects. Dialing that in and expecting them to be able to work plug and play, close to plug and play, with not huge amounts of difficult and risky integration projects, using sort of more modern, more low-code technology. So, you know what? ERP, this is business. We're talking business applications, business platforms. I think that's probably the trend, is that the three-letter acronym's a little bit outdated.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting how many people know the term ERP, but not what the full term actually means. I've always found that to be an interesting thing. But
right.
So let's say I'm a company. I'm going onto Google, right? Because I'm looking for an ERP. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to search ERP. About 5 million different things show up about ERP ads for all these different companies, and how every single ERP is the #1 product, just like in Portland, there's 500 shops that are the #1 coffee shops in the world. So how do you, what's your advice on where to look for an ERP system, and then where to look for a partner for that ERP?
So, where to look for a vendor? Cloud vendors, #1. I'm going to say just look to Microsoft. I've got a bit of a bias. I'm going to write bias here. I'm going to suggest that Microsoft's a good place to start. But there are many big branded ERP vendors. I'd suggest looking at how much money they're spending in R&D. I would suggest some of them may have a big different focus in terms of industry, and some may be considered sort of best of breed. But I'd recommend looking at who the vendor is targeting. Who's that vendor talking to when they're talking about these business applications? Do they think you're a Fortune 500? Are they talking to you as if you're a Fortune 500? Or are they talking to you as if you're a nail salon on the corner down the street? So I would have a look at what their major target is. A good tell will be asking any one of these vendors or finding it on their website, what is their target market? I would use Bing, and I would probably find Microsoft at the top of the list for business applications, because again, a developer of an ERP is different than a business application platform provider. And I think these days, as I said, ERP may be a little dated. Maybe Googling ERP or Binging ERP is a little dated. You need to think about what you're looking at, what you're needing for your business. Michael, the thing that I think that I've come across the most is that when you're buying these applications, you're buying them for what your business needs to look like in 3 years, 5 years down the track, because you're getting into a relationship that's a long-term commitment. And what you do today and how you do your business today is unlikely to be the same in 3 years. Heck, it might be different in 2 years. So what you need to do is have a look and see who vendors who are talking to you about things where you might be going, not necessarily where you are today. And I think that's really important.
You mentioned industry. Does that matter in the ERP selection process?
Look, I think it does, but oftentimes what the vendors will do is they will ask, I mean, and I'll give you the Microsoft example because it's certainly the one I'm most familiar with, is that in developing or bringing out a platform, the idea is generally that this platform will go down to maybe an industry level. So they will be, you know, I know with the Dynamics suite of products, you can go down to, you know, process manufacturing, check. Consumer packaged goods, check. Retail, check. Industrial equipment, check. Widget manufacturing, check. So that's industry. But when you look at sub-vertical or industry or vertical within industries, you'll find that there are partners like us that are expected to take the software the extra mile to get it to fit nicely in a particular vertical within that industry. So manufacturing is not a vertical, right? The software could do manufacturing, but if you're equipment manufacturer, just because the software checks the box on manufacturing doesn't mean it caters to the specific needs of you and your vertical. And it's partners like Sikich who bring that vertical expertise to the product and to the implementation services that that wrap around that product.
Excellent.
So is industry important? Yes, but I would say industry vertical is more.
Absolutely. You mentioned before about Microsoft and looking to Microsoft for looking for a partner, especially looking for the ERP system, of course, with Dynamics 365 from Microsoft. But I wanted to just mention the Microsoft App Source is a great place to start. There's certified and registered partners that anyone can find on App Source, as well as specific information about vendors and solutions that integrate into the Dynamics 365 and Microsoft platform. So wanted to reiterate on that. I think that's a good place to start, as well as coming to Sikich. And you're welcome to visit us at www.sikich.com. We are happy to help there. I'm going to wrap this up here. So Debbie, I want to thank you so much for joining us and talking
You're welcome.
About ERP selection and what that process looks like. I know that there's so many, there can be a lot of confusion as to where to start and how to start. And often there is, trying to find the right word, a lot of times it can be difficult for the organization executive to find out where to start. So I think this is a great way to get that done. We also have
I think, Michael, you reach out, ask.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that you can find with partners like Sikich is we'll be honest. If we think that we've got the right solution in our portfolio, we'll tell you. And if we don't, we'll often point you in the right direction in terms of where to go. And, you know, I've had a job as a software selection consultant for one of the big consultancies. So I've done this before, and I definitely know that it helps to have someone who can say, look, honestly, this is not, we're not for you. Here, let me introduce you to someone who can help.
Yeah, be careful of those companies that say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Everything's a yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We want to do what's right and what's best for that organization. So, Debbie, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Feel free to reach out directly to Debbie on LinkedIn. If you have any more questions, she is a great resource in this area and can help put you right in the right direction. So, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see everybody next Tuesday.